Hi there everybody and welcome to the English of Everything. My name's Benjamin and this lesson I'm going to teach you about what is a pet hate. And a pet hate is something that people have personal to them and something they really don't like. So they hate it, it's horrible, it's bad, and it's just for them personally. It might not bother other people might not think it's important, but it's something for them that is a pet hate. For example, some people have pet hate, like if you saw someone picking your nose, you'd be like, oh, that's horrible, whereas some other people doesn't bother. It's not a particularly bad pet hate of mine, although it's not particularly polite. Same with, I have a small one, if you see people clicking their fingers, this is a pet hate of mine because I hate this sound. But today I'm going to talk about one of my biggest pet hates, and it's something that I've been doing in a few of my normal life lessons, and it's about the subject of recycling. Because before I started doing these lessons, I presumed, especially here in Europe, that the rates of recycling were pretty high, that a lot of materials were recycled. For example, paper, plastic, glass, metals, things like this, they're being recycled and reused again. But in one of my lessons, we found some graphs or some tables of Europe. For example, this one, which is about some rates in Europe of actually how much the countries actually recycle. You can see there's Germany at the lot, which is the highest, but then it goes down to the countries near the bottom. For example, Romania is very, very low, 1%, 0%. And this is a very, very low amount. The national or the European average is, 49%, which is only 50%. And it could be, or it should be, a lot higher. And the reason I was thinking this is quite sad, or it's my pet hate, is I was thinking, is it because people just generally don't know why they should recycle? Or is it people are just lazy and they don't care? In which case, if it's the first one, I would like to try and educate you if you don't know why recycling is important. If it's the second one, there's not much I can do if you're generally just lazy and you don't care and you don't give a shit. So I'm going to do the education part if I can. So first of all, recycling is important because of raw materials. And raw materials means what we dig out of the ground to make the materials that we use. For example, plastic. Plastic, we have a lot of plastic things, but plastic comes from oil, and you must drill oil out of the ground. And so we have lots and lots of pollutions that are made from bringing oil out of the ground. So we need to use plastic again and again, so we don't bring so much oil out of the ground, because there's quite a limited amount, it's quite expensive. When you burn oil, a lot of smoke and pollution comes from it. Paper, if you don't already know this, and you should do, you have to chop down a tree to make paper. And we cut down thousands and thousands, huge amounts of trees every single day, every single minute, every single second. And trees make oxygen that we breathe. And it seems like there's a lot of it now, but if you live in China, I imagine you know that the air is not so clean right now. There's not enough trees to cope with this, to turn these pollutants back into oxygen. Amazon being cut down at a tremendous rate. For example, we have glass. Glass is made from sand, and you superheat it very, very hot, and it makes glass. But you need a tremendous amount of energy to make this glass. So the more glass we can recycle, the less glass we need to make, the less energy we need to use, the less pollution in the atmosphere. Now, there's a lot of people who say that the effects of one person doesn't really make any big difference, but that's the same with everything. If everyone does it, we have no problem. As you can see across Europe, no one is, or a very small amount of people are actually doing it, and it's not making such a big amount. And air levels or air pollution levels are being affected. I've noticed here in Prague, you can see a number of different websites that track air pollution levels, and they're very, very high, or they're rising steadily. But the countries, for example, Germany, which has a high rate of recycling, it has a high rate of sustainable energy, their air quality is much better than those in other countries. And air pollution causes respiratory problems, which means you're breathing. And if we can't breathe, we're all gonna die. So this is just one of the many reasons why we should recycle. Another reason is landfills. Landfills are where we take all the waste from the bags where it's mixed together and you just throw it into a big hole and you cover it. And this is extremely bad for the earth. It creates a lot of chemicals, of gases, of things that go eventually out. Sometimes they can explode. So this is another thing, we have landfills. The amount of plastic goes into the oceans, destroys the fish, destroys the sea life there. This is, again, another good reason to cut down on the amount of plastic we have and recycle the stuff we have. So this is why we should recycle. There's a lot of other examples, and it is my pet hate that people don't do it. So if you don't do recycling, just fucking do it. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out why it's a good idea. And if you do it, keep up the good work. So this is my lesson about pet hates and recycling. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you in another lesson. Okay, bye bye everybody.